The access granted by the lead detective on the case was extraordinary and unexpected.
You're a brave man.
And only adds to how grisly this investigation continues to be. A day after they started digging, looking for anything from a skull to a tooth, police confirm they've found remains in one of 2 piles of compost accused serial killer Bruce McArthur may have dumped here.
They're digging further up in what's essentially a compost pile and loading what they find into buckets, bringing it down to the tables and sifting through it and looking for any further human remains.
Police dogs led the team of forensic experts here, a ravine behind the home where McArthur stored his landscaping tools. The same place where police found the dismembered remains of 7 men in planters stored in the garage. Police won't elaborate on what the new discovery is, but seem confident it's connected to the case.
We're going to have some work to do identifying those remains, linking them to the McArthur investigation, but I think geographically where the remains were found, we're not going to have much of an issue doing that.
Any new remains may trigger new leads or fill in some blanks. Some of the identified victims' remains found in those planters aren't complete, and the remains of Majid Kayhan, one of the 8 men McArthur is accused of killing, haven't been identified yet. There's also the grim possibility there may be other victims. Later at police headquarters, Nsinga says he's ruling nothing out.
If there's a 9th victim or a 10th victim or 11th victim found at Mallory, and then we have to identify them, look at the circumstances of their deaths and any associations and decide if charges are going to be laid.
It has been a meticulous investigation. Police spent months in McArthur's apartment and are poring over the hundreds of pieces of evidence seized there and from inside the home at Mallory Crescent, evidence that could lead to more charges. This is the 4th time they've been back here after scouring about 100 other properties where McArthur worked as a landscaper and after digging at several of them.
I want to leave no stone unturned in the investigation, so it'll take as long as we have to take. Could there be an end in sight? Then there could be, but if there's any more avenues that have opened up, we'll follow those avenues.
And Joanna is here with us now. Joanna, obviously this isn't over yet, but there do seem to be a lot of questions about whether this investigation should have started much sooner.
Right. An independent review into how Toronto police are looking or have looked into missing persons investigations is being set up now, because some of McArthur's victims went missing nearly a decade ago. And community leaders have been saying for years that police didn't take their cases seriously enough because of their sexuality and their race. And here's a clip from a community leader who is one of the main voices calling for that review.
What does it really take for them to take it seriously? And again, like I said, I'm working with the police now, and we're working in partnership. We're trying to build that trust level, and we want to also be a source where people who are facing these things can actually come to us and then work through us to report to the police. But I still can't ignore the fact of that bias still being there, and again, until the review proves differently, I'm going to have to stick to my theory.
So he talks about working with police, but is his group also working with the victims' families on this?
They are. They're trying to raise money, in some cases, to help the families get visas, travel costs, covering funeral costs. But the family members they've spoken to and family members that I've spoken to are all in a very similar awful position. It's this awful holding pattern, not only dealing with the information of what happened to their loved ones, but not really being able to move on with any sort of ritual, a funeral, a memorial service, because the remains of the victims are still with the coroner and will be there for as long as this investigation continues. And at this point, it's probably not before the fall before police start releasing some of those remains to some families.
Oh, terrible wait. Joanna, thanks very much.
Thank you.